the Fade 5 podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Rather big noise, Evans here, joined by the good Nathaniel Lundy. 'Tis indeed another Freaky Friday edition of the Fade 5, and we're already clutching tickets in hand because we're ready to hop aboard the Honk Honk Plus Bus, as we always do at the beginning of every Fade 5 episode, plus 100 odds or greater, mi amigo. What promptly grabbed your attention in the Choose Your Adventure portion of the podcast?
Well, we decided, yesterday told you guys to take Alex Ovechkin to score a goal. Ovi did score another goal last night, so a nice little plus 125 payday as he continues to chase history. Just had a feeling it was going to come in bunches, and sure enough, it did for us. So I'll tell you what. Why not just go right back to the same idea? Let's find another guy that I think has an opportunity to score tonight. Let's talk about New York Rangers forward Artemi Panarin. And I'm going to say he finds the biscuit in the back of the net this evening as they are at home. They take on the Ottawa Senators, and you got a nice little plus payday here at a plus 110. He has been en fuego to start off this season. He's got a total of 15 points. 6 of those are goals, 9 of them assists. He leads his team in all 3 points, goals, assists. You just keep going, man. He's dominating right now for the Rangers, and I think the Rangers win this one pretty easily in regulation against the Senators, and if that happens, I say he gets up on the board. He's got 22 lifetime games against Ottawa, 9 goals off of the course of that 22. But in the 22, he's got a total of 28 points. And so this is a guy that finds a way to be around the net. I say instead of just kicking back and getting an assist, he actually puts it in the back of the net. Let's see if we can go 2 nights in a row on an anytime goal scorer. Give me Panarin plus 110 at DK.
Oh, draw some puck and make some bucks. And of course, I got to be biased here. I think my Fighting Illini scored the victory at home this weekend, taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers on Dad's weekend. True story, folks. Again, my kid is in the Marching Illini band. He is a bass 3 drummer. And I am required to get my ass up at like 6 a.m. I got to rehearse at 7 a.m. at the stadium because I'm doing a dance along with the other dads that have their kids in the Marching Illini band at halftime. So I'm going to go out there and shake my moneymaker, baby, and hopefully I'm going to be doing so after the game in victory with my Fighting Illini. So I'm going to take them on the money line. Again, taking on the Golden Gophers, Minnesota, a team that has 6-1 ATS this season. They've been covering machines. Outstanding on the ground as always, though just number 69, not so nice, in EPA per play offense, number 20 in EPA per play defense. Illinois, a better offensive team at 44 in EPA data, but only number 60 defensively. It's the same story as the Michigan game. Illinois has got to really tighten those screws in the trenches if they can win the battle up front against a run-heavy team. And given Luke Altmaier's duality, given Pat Bryant, who's really coming on strong as NFL pro prospect outside at wide receiver, you got Zachary Franklin work underneath on some of those slippery routes in the strong ground game of the rotational backfield that the ILL has. I think it's going to be nip and tuck. I think it's going to be ultra tight. I'm going to be puckering up in definitely the wrong place late in this game, but I think Illinois squeaks by and gets the victory, so I will take my ILL as I'm uncomfortably dancing like a dad at halftime in that game against the Golden Gophers, plus 126. I grabbed that at FanDuel Sportsbook. With those bets on the board, let's get after to another Friday edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
All right, numero 5 here on the countdown. I think Lindy's going to love this one because he is a season ticket holder of the Denver Broncos, and he has seen the maturation. He has seen the growth of one Bo Nix, and a guy he's kind of bittersweet about. I mean, he's an Oregon State grad. He's a big fan of the Beavers. Bo Nix went to that other school in Eugene, the Ducks, and there's a choice word that rhymes with that people usually apply in Corvallis to that institution down the road. But I think Bo Nix is going to twirl at least a couple of passing touchdowns this weekend in the Charm City against the Baltimore Ravens. Everybody knows really the story of Baltimore this season, especially fantasy fans. If you got a quarterback against them, start him automatically because the Ravens are woeful They are dreadful against the pass, number 28 in the NFL in pass CPA defense. They have allowed 3 quarterbacks to achieve 2 more passing touchdowns in the last 4 games. They're giving up 8.09 pass yards per attempt, 311.6 pass yards per game, and an NFL high 17 passing touchdowns to the position. Bo Nix, put some damn respect on his name. Last week, it went out 1, 2, and 3, mi amigos, through the air against the Carolina Panthers. He's number 13 in red zone completion percentage on the season, and he has done this 3 times in his last 4 games as well. So all I need is 2 passing touchdowns, and we cash in a plus 200 on that alt line at DraftKings. And Lundy, I also like 3 or more passing touchdowns at plus 1,000, 10-1 odds that he does it. And I think it's entirely doable and on the table, especially now that he is reconnected with Courtland Sutton, who really is the number 1 wide receiver option in that Denver offense. So put it all together, Bo Nix, 2 or more passing TDs against the Ravens, plus 200 at DraftKings. Good, sir. Fade or follow.
God. I don't know how much I trust him yet. I mean, I'm being honest, folks. I mean, Brad's right. I've watched him mature. And frankly, I think he brought a lot of this with him, straight out of the gate. I think he just had to get used to the speed of the NFL game. And I think that is something that he's doing very well. Here's part of the reason why I'm a little bit nervous about this bet. Yes, he has found his connection in Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton is the WR1 for the Broncos. I like Court a lot. Court is not a WR1 on any other team in the NFL, in my opinion. I think he's an unbelievable 2. I think he's a guy that would just be consistent for you across the board. He is the WR1 for the Broncos because they don't have any better options. They do not have elite playmakers on this roster. The closest thing they have is their rookie quarterback. They are going to have to continue this rebuild. They just happen to be a couple of steps ahead. I did not expect them to be sitting at 5-3 right now. I thought at best it would be the exact opposite at 3-5. So, what the hell do I know? I'm not sure you really want to know what my opinion is across the board. Look, Baltimore's defense is bad, but he's still a rookie, okay? He's still a rookie quarterback, and I believe the environment in Baltimore on Sunday is going to feel very similar to his first game of the year on the road at Lumen Field against the Seahawks. You're going to have a loud, boisterous crowd. I think the Baltimore fans know he's a rook and that they can get to him. I've seen what that secondary can do, but that secondary has also been very generous, frankly, to some teams that have better wideouts. So, all that said, I can't resist plus 200. I'll follow.
That's right. Roll the shoulders, get seduced by the juice. Have some damn faith in Bo Nix.
Number 4.
Numero Quattro here with the Fade 5 countdown on this Friday. Let's get some more plus money on the board. Yes! And we're going to do it with CeeDee Lamb. No side of green jelly necessary. 90 or plus receiving yards. In a game with a lot of pew shootout appeal in Atlanta, taking on the Falcons. I think this one is going to be cash money, my friend, because look at CeeDee Lamb. Tunnel vision, cue the song in the background. That's exactly what Dak Prescott has for CeeDee this season. 10.3 targets per game. And you know how good Lamb is after the catch. He's number 4 in total yak this season, number 12 in yards per route run, and he has won the 13th most routes of any wide receiver in the National Football League. He's gone for 90 or more yards in 3 games this season, and he's seeing almost a 50-50 split working outside and inside, of course, out of the slot. And it's in that position where I think he could really go ham in this game. Look at Atlanta, number 24 in pass EPA defense. Only 3 wide receivers have gone for 90 or more yards against them this season. But again, in the slot, it's D. Alford. And he is just a turnstile, man. He is a gift that keeps on giving. Clark. 77.8% catch rate he is allowed. 115.2 passer rating he surrendered. And the 23rd most yards overall of any DB, whether they're working outside or inside in the NFL, and the second most slot yards he is allowed as well at 284. So put all together, numero quattro on the countdown, good sir. CeeDee Lamb, 90 or more receiving yards down in Atlanta, plus 110 at DraftKings. Fade or follow.
Yeah, you already sort of hit it on the idea of tunnel vision, because that is most definitely what he has for CeeDee Lamb. There's a few quarterback wide receiver partnerships out there that feel that way, but this is definitely one. I think you just have some fun with this. I think you ladder the hell out of it. It might be worth sprinkling on the idea of 100. Told you to do that last night with Joe Mixon, didn't I? Didn't I? Told you to go ahead and bump it up from the 90 to the 100 just in case with a small bet, and hopefully you cashed that small bet last night and followed along with a CeeDee Lamb 90 yards. And I'll tell you what, it's probably a quarter unit or something like that, but I'm going to drop on him to hit the century mark too.
Keep on flooding those passes through the tunnel, Dak.
Number 3.
Nimmo Trace here on the Feed 5 Countdown. Let's talk about another participant there in the NFC East, but fly, Eagle, fly. No, I'm not actually going to go with A.J. Brown for once. I'm going to go with his tag team partner and DeVonta Smith over 22.5 yards on the longest catch at minus 110, available there at BetMGM. I think he is going to catch a long bomb in this game. Now, he's only done this 3 times this season on that over 22.5 yards, the longest catch. But he's seeing 27.2% of the team target share. He's number 65 at ADOT. Okay, underwhelming. But number 24 in YAC, number 16 in yards per route run. And yes, a modest number 60 in total route wins. But I think he's going to emerge victorious often and gets coverage in this game because it's Jacksonville. They're dead last in pass EPA defense in the NFL, and he's going to get a ton of Ronald Darby on the outside, who's given up a 74.4% catch rate and the 12th most yards of any defensive back, 338 to be exact, in the NFL, also given at 12.8 yards per catch, and on top of that, a 129.4 passer rating. So go routes down the left seam, and then hopefully Jalen Hurts will uncork, hits him in the hands, long bomb achieved, and we're counting our winnings on that over. DeVonta Smith, 22.5 yards on the longest catch, minus 110 at BetMGM. Lundy, pay to follow.
Well, here's the thing, Brad. Are you and I streaking here at all? Because yesterday we said to take the under on Tank Dell. That didn't happen. Nope. I said to take the over on Dalton Schultz. That didn't happen. So are we righting the ship here, or should people fade the living crap out of us?
Well, I tell you what, chances are we're going to get one of these right. So you got a 1 in 5 chance. Is it this one? Probably not. So fade us.
Yeah, right now I'm just kind of throwing my hands up because I thought for sure that Tank Dell was going to stay underneath that total yesterday, since that had basically been what he'd done all season long. And then dude just burned last night.
Not once, but twice.
Exactly. That was pretty painful to be able to watch. And then, of course, Dalton Schultz doing jack diddly squat to be able to help me out yesterday as well. But then again, that's that damn Jets defense coming to the rescue yet again. So I don't know, man. I tell you what, I'm going to let the crowd source this one because I don't know what to do based on how you and I did last night.
Fade, and fade some more. And guess what? You got more fadeable opportunities right now at thegamingjuice.com. All of our free content lives there. Again, you don't pay a single cent for any of it. You want to ask me a question? Click Ask Brad on the menu at the top of the page and fire away, and I'll get to it in a timely fashion. You want to check out our free spreadsheet picks. You can always do that. There's free picks at the very top menu as well. That's where my spreadsheet lives. That's where Lundy's spreadsheet lives. You want more detail? We got a cast of writers cranking out NHL content. Of course, all of my fantasy football rankings and fantasy flames content, my top props every week, and it's posted right now. Just went live on thegamingjuice.com for week number 9 in the NFL. And to Ben Winstein and Nate Jacobson, they got a whole host of previews in the world of college football. It's absolutely free. You got no stinking excuse. Go there right now. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe.
Number 2.
Numero dos here on the countdown. Bear down, Chicago Bears. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. I'm going to take the over, and we've seen some line movement on this. I was originally going to grab it at 18.5 when it opened, and I forgot to play it. Then I went to bed, and I woke up. I'm like, oh, I got a 2-yard discount, 16.5. Please and thank you. Click. as I deposited some money on this particular prop. And I grabbed it at FanDuel against the Arizona Cardinals at minus 114. I think DeAndre is going to hit the 16.5. I think he's going to hit the 18.5. If you want to ladder this up to 25 or more receiving yards, I think that is very much in play in this matchup, in which I believe the Bears are going to win. They're catching a point, un punto, right now down there in the Sonoran Desert. So why is my confidence high on this? Let me give you the background. Arizona, number 30 in the NFL and pass EPA defense, are going up 4.4 receptions, 37.4 yards per game receiving to the running back position. Eight. The Ocho have gone over this at running back against this defense this season. And you look at Swift, he's running a healthy amount of routes per game, 13.7, running around on 39.2% of his snaps played, 16th highest mark of any running back in the league, 11% team target share. That's number 18 in the NFL among running backs. He's got number 70 yards per route run, 2.01, and number 5 with a 10.2 yards per reception average. He has done this in 5 of his last 6 games. And based on the average on all we need, man, 2 catches. 2 catches, and I think we cash. I think he's going to exceed 20 yards. So one of the softest lines that I have seen out there based on the primo and high leg split matchup against Arizona. The history recently of Swift and really the full body of work for him as a pass catcher. That's why it's números on the Fade 5 countdown here, entering the main slate of week number 9. DeAndre Swift over 16.5 receiving yards in Arizona, minus 114 at FanDuel. Fade or follow.
I like a lot of the props with DeAndre Swift in this game. I like rush attempts. I like his receiving yards. I like his combo. I like his rush plus receiving. I just think this is a great spot for him against Arizona. Yes, it's on the road. I don't think it matters. This, to me, just aligns as one of those games where Swift should go off, which probably means he rolls his ankle in the first 5 minutes and we're screwed.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But DeAndre, stay upright and show your mitts, man. You can catch a lot of balls.
Number 1.
Numero uno on the Week 9 edition of the Feed 5 Countdown. Oh, I'm a big fan of Achane of the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to invest in the alt market. That's how big of a fan I am, and I'm going to take this prop up to 60 or more rush yards. The standard line around 50.5. Right now, the various sportsbook of this alt line against the Buffalo Bills, not Bulls, as the Bulls are the local college team there. But plus 150 at DraftKings in that matchup against the Bills. Get it right, Evans. I think is highly attainable there for DeVonta Smith. And here are the reasons why I am on this. Handsome juice, A. That's the primary reason why I'm on this. 2. B, he's done this 3 times this season in each of the last 2 games as well. Okay, a decent 2.83. He's not a world beater in yak per attempt. Or missed tackles forced, only forced 10. That's number 41 in the NFL. But he is top 10 in yards created per touch. We know the explosivity he has. And again, with Tua Tagovailoa under center, he is going to see some lightened boxes, and he'll do some damage on that 53.7% opportunity share he has averaged this season. Now that we got recency bias, right? He faced his Bills defense back earlier this season. That was a game Tua played about 3/4 of the game, got his bell rung in Miami, and the rest, everybody knows the story there. But he had 22 carries in that game, went for 96 yards, and all we need is 36 fewer yards, and we still cash. Yeah, the Bills are number 6 in rush EPA defense, but they're giving up 4.53 yards per carry, 94.5 rush yards per game in the running back position. 5 RBs, 5 have reached 60 yards on the ground against them. I think Achane, man, I'm a big fan of this prop, will do the same at a plus 150 juice. Get seduced by it, baby, at DraftKings. Lundy, my number 1 play, fade or follow.
Let's see. Let me think here for a second. 60? Oh, hell, take him to 75. I mean, come on. He's going to go. Maybe I don't go that crazy, but I think this is a great bet. I think you ladder it up and you take the plus odds. Now, folks, if you're a little nervous about it, if you're not a fan of going too high on the ladder, SGP and take whatever you can grab and pair it up with whatever other props you like in this contest. He's a perfect guy to take on the ground at the 60 plus. I think there's a handful of guys that you could do that with this week, that you could put together, say, a 3 or 4 leg parlay, put them at 50, right? And go grab 3 of them that you probably can count on to crush the number. But you're going to put yourself at what, a plus 120, 122, 128, somewhere in that range if you go grab some of these guys at the 50 or more. So I think that's a great spot to be able to play it. I like this one a lot. Good choice for number 1.
Oh, look at you finishing strong with the follow and Devon Achane. You know what time it is. Bonus time. Bonus time. Lundy, I have too much additional action, and I know you do as well.
Well, I do. I've got a handful of things that I want to be able to throw out there, but what I'll say is keep an eye on the spreadsheet. It's kind of an interesting day in the NHL, by the way, because there's a game at 2:00 Eastern time because Dallas is across the way against Florida. They're playing in Finland. So the time difference makes it so that it's actually on at noon my time, 2:00 Eastern time. So there is an afternoon contest. By the way, I think it's plus 110. If you're consuming this podcast early enough, take the no gift in that contest between Florida and Dallas. Couple of phenomenal goaltenders. And as a matter of fact, Dallas has only been a part of a game with the goal in the first 10 in like 20% of their games so far this season. I know it's a small sample size, but it's just not happening with Dallas, in part because they've got some tremendous goaltending, but so does Florida. I think this one could even be 0-0 at the end of the first period as they're playing over there in Finland. Plus, we also see this sometimes in the games that are played over in Europe. Things are a little slow to ramp up as we go into those games. So if you're looking for something to be able to do hockey this afternoon because you're a DGen like I am on ice, go ahead and be able to play the no gift in that one. One other no gift that I like for today, by the way, in Columbus, Ohio, Winnipeg and the Blue Jackets play the no gift in that one as well, sitting at plus 115 over at DraftKings. Both of these teams sub 50% so far in the season in terms of that particular bet hitting. AJ Brown, you want to get down with AJ Brown and give me the longest reception over 25.5 for him against Jacksonville. Should be very generous. And if I like that, it also means I like the over on AJ Brown's total yards through the air as well. A couple of my favorite anytime touchdown picks for this weekend. Olave. Oh, give me Chris Olave for an anytime touchdown this weekend on the road against the Carolina Panthers. The other one that I like, let's talk about Brock Bowers going up against Cincinnati. Another anytime touchdown that I like for this weekend. I'll have a couple more for you. Might even be worth a sprinkle on the aforementioned A.J. Brown to find into the end zone against Carolina. I told you I'm all about DeAndre Swift this weekend. I'm also all about A.J. Brown. If you're doing any DFS, I got both of those guys in my wide receiver positions for the Sunday slate there. College football, Brad, I hate to say it. I really, really hate to say it. But right here on the old paper was Illinois at plus money on my paper, man. I was right there with you against Minnesota. I just want to say, I think you were looking at a decent little upset there. And I don't know. Do you want to ride with the smart kids? My other favorite upset on the money line for this weekend, Vanderbilt on the road against Auburn. This is not the same Auburn Tiger team, folks, that we have seen in years past. And I don't know, after what Vandy did, I think they're kind of riding a bit of a high. So there's another on the money line for college on Saturday that I think you can look to take advantage of. So like I said, I had written down Illinois as one of my upset picks, and so I am with you on that one. And like I said, I also like Vandy on the road. I know you've got a lot for the folks. Both of us will have everything posted up on our spreadsheets, but for now, I yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
All right, Team Huevos Parlay play of the daytime SGP style NFL Week 9. Let's go to that colossal matchup between the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field, taking on their division rival, the Detroit Lions. And this is all for the kitty fans out there. Mandatory Montgomery, leg numero uno. I'll cue the Billy Idol, Flush Your Fantasy in the background. Anytime touchdown. Leg numero dos, Shamir Gibbs, 50 or more rush yards. And leg numero tres, Sam Laporta, Laporta, 25 or more receiving yards. Uno, dos, tres. I'll hold off on the payout. Let me get a background here momentarily. You look at Dave Montgomery, all he does is score touchdowns. He's done it in 6 to 7 games this season. He is number 10 in total red zone touches in the National Football League. And you look at Green Bay, they're number 9 in rush EPAD, but they're a team that's given up a half dozen touchdowns, running back position, along with 4.56 yards per carry, 92.4 rush yards per game. He is going to get the ball to the belly inside the 5, and I think he is going to splash one in for 6. So leg numero uno hopefully will be achieved. His tag team partner there in Jahmyr Gibbs also going to drop an elbow from the top rope, 50 or more rush yards. Again, I gave you all the statistical data backing up of why Green Bay has kind of been deceiving based on the EPA standing. And you look at Gibbs, he's getting close to 50% of the opportunity shares, 6.7 yards per touch, number 5 in total missed tackles, number 13 in yak per attempt, and he has done this, 50 or more rush yards, in 6 straight games, make it 7. And then Sam Laporta, 25 or more receiving yards. I know he's been a bit of a disappointment for fantasy fans out there, but he has done this in 7 of 8 games. He's only seen 3.3 targets per game, but he's number 6 in total yak among tight ends, number 1 in yards per target, number 3 in yards per reception at 13.6. And Green Bay has allowed 7 tight ends to accumulate at least 25 yards through the air against them, and specifically given up 59.9 yards per game to the tight end position. So to recap, the Team Huevos parlay play of week number 9, SGP style. Dave Montgomery, anytime touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 50 or more rush yards. Sam Laporta, 25 or more receiving yards. A cool plus 192 built at DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, let's go to some additional bonus time. I'm not going to give any reasoning. I'm just going to fire off on a couple of college games that I like. I think the dogs that be barking in these games. I'm not going to take them straight up on the money line, but I love them on the lines. Give me Wisconsin, the Badgers plus 3.5, taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Yar! Shiver me timbers. I think the hook is going to come into play in that one. I think the Badgers keep it close. And then give me Louisville. Plus 11 against Clemson. I think this number is way too high. Louisville's number 13 in the country in EPA per play offense. And my friends at College Football Insiders have this as Clemson minus 5.43. So great value if you're buying into the EPA data on the Cardinals there on the road, taking on the Clemson Tigers. So I like them plus 11. Elsewhere in the NFL this week, I got to get down with some Chase Brown, baby. You know it. Going to be slugging back the maple syrup, SGP style. Give me the Bengals down to minus 2.5, taking on Vegas. And I'm going to parlay that with Chase Brown, 50 or more rush yards. It's minus 120. I built this at BetMGM. Not the greatest juice, but hey, I need some victories, especially since I'm chasing a deficit after Thursday Night Football. Brown has done this in 2 of his last 5 games. Okay, not the greatest, but his role's been ramping up. He's gotten at least 12 rush attempts in 4 of his last 5. And if he gets that kind of workload against Vegas, he's going to do some damage. The Raiders are 20 in rush EPAD, giving up 4.67 yards per carry, 102.1 rush yards per game. 8 running backs have run for at least 50 yards against them. I say the Canadian import for all the maple syrup, baby. Get down with some Chase Brown. And parlay that with Cincinnati minus 2.5. Brown, 50 or more rush yards. Again, minus 120 there at BetMGM. 2 more plays for me in the NFL. Aaron Jones, over 16.5 rush attempts under the primetime lights on Sunday Night Football, taking on Indianapolis. This number's too low. Guy's seeing 70.5% of the opportunity share. I understand he's averaging 14.9 rush attempts per game, so south of the needed number, but he has gone over in 3 of his last 4. The Colts are giving up 28.1 rush attempts per game to the opposition. 4 RBs have gone over this against them, as they're also surrendering 123.3 yards per game on the ground to opposing plowshares. So I think Aaron Jones will have at least 17 carries. That's why I like the over on 16.5. And then I'm going to go out west in the battle between the Rams and the Seahawks. More significant plus money on the board. I grabbed this morning. I built it at DraftKings, I believe. No, BetMGM is where I built this. SGP 2-legger, Kenneth Walker III, over 3.5 receptions. Kenneth Walker III, 50 or more rush yards. That's it. Plus 195. That's insane value. Let me get a quick little background. Rams number 28 rush EPAD. They're giving up 112 flat rush yards per game of the running back position, also giving up 3.6 receptions per game to the running back position. So both slightly over, obviously, what is needed there. Walker has caught at least 4 balls in 4 of his last 5 games, one of the most active pass catching backs in the league. And on top of that as well, he's got over 50 or more rush yards. I think pretty much all but 1 week, if I'm recalling correctly. He is a top 10 in missed tackles forced on the NFL season. Whoo! Oh, wait! I got more! Hold on, NBA. Dante DiVincenzo, now a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves, taking on Lundy's Denver Nuggets. I say DiVincenzo goes over 2.5 assists. That number's way too low. It's minus 110 on that. Why do I like this? He's done this in 2 of 4 games this season, averaging 3.3 assists per game. He's getting significant tick at 27 minutes per game flat right now. And the Nugs have allowed the most opponent assists per game to begin the NBA season, 30 exactly per contest, and also allowing opponents to shoot 46.4% from the floor. So Dante DiVincenzo, baby! I think it's going to get it done. All we need is 3 dimes, and we're cashing in there. Lundy, you like that one?
Sure. Nuggets suck.
Oh, wow. That's a bold take with Nikola.
Dude, go check out, if you guys are NBA fans, I think Ramona put the article up on ESPN in the last 24 hours or so on the behind the scenes headbutting that is happening in Denver. We've known about it locally for a while. It's interesting to see that now the national media is writing about it. Michael Malone and Calvin Booth do not like each other.
That's a problem.
End of story. Okay. The general manager of the team and the head coach do not get along and do not see eye to eye about what this team should be doing and how they should be doing it. The Nuggets are a freaking mess right now, and I don't see it getting better anytime soon.
Well, that's good news, or hopefully my Dante DiVincenzo was his prop on that over 2.5. All right, we are out of breath and out of time. Do us a favor. Would you kindly drop us a rating and a review at your convenience? Also, fade or follow us on the X. Lundy, always giving it to you at Nate Lundy. I'm doing the same at Noisy Huevos. Go to thegamingjuice.com and sign up for a free account. And as always, until next time, fade or follow. That is up to you. Time for me to work on my dance moves.